What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to be installing a new fish finder on my 2017 Hobie Outback. The fish finder is a Humminbird Helix 5 DI with GPS. I'm going to show you what comes in the box. Got a power cable here. The inline fuse is not included. I added this. This is kind of the first step to cut down on time and then just have a power cable ready. Per manufacturer's instructions, I have a 3-amp fuse in there. Transducer, head unit, got the bracket for mounting, got the 2 screws, and then other mounting hardware for a boat or whatever other vessel you want to install this on. Item that I purchased separately was the ram mount. Here is the unit that we are replacing. It is a Humminbird 587 CI HD. Some components: transducer, power cable. Here is the battery that I am using. Did not change or get a new battery. So let's get started. As previously stated, the first thing I did after I opened the box was install the inline fuse. I went ahead and soldered the wires together, put some shrink wrap on it, and this will save me some time on the install. Next thing you want to do is pick where you want to mount it. I'm just going to mount it where my old unit was. So what I did was, when I picked up a new ram mount, this was round. I cut the ends to make it fit in this spot and for the holes to line up. Remember to always use stainless steel hardware so that it doesn't rust and that you don't have to continually replace those screws. Got the screws put in, got my hatch open. We're just going to go in here, take our washer and our nut. I'm going to upgrade these washers to be a bit bigger to cover more surface area underneath. But for now, for this install, I'm just going to go with this. I'm going to grab a ratchet, screwdriver, go underneath and screw this together. Alright, now that that base mount is on, what I'm going to do next is route the transducer. What I'm going to do here underneath the Kayak is remove the 3 screws from the plate. I will explain why there's a hole on my plate here in a second. The reason there's a hole on the bottom of that plate is from my old transducer. I understand how it works. It's supposed to be able to punch through the plate and not need a hole, but I guess I'll be that guy. Once I did cut that hole, I didn't have any issues with depth reading, and the picture was clear. So I did order a new plate, and I'm gonna be using the new transducer the way it's supposed to, without a hole. This mount is for Humminbird transducers. I did order this separately for my old unit, and it's compatible with the new transducer, given that it's also Humminbird. Let me go ahead and get this mounted up and route the cable through. The cable will be coming up through this hole. Transducer mounted. Got the cable all the way through. Next thing we want to do is remove this. Gonna come up under the circle hatch here. I've already taken it off. Basically, it's a nut. Unscrew this and this will pop right off. First thing you want to do is route the cable through the gasket. Push down here. Pull the cable through. Alright, next thing you want to do is install your grommet. Take your cap, slide it on. I have to use something to push grommet all the way in. Try and keep as much water out as possible. Alright, got our grommet, our cap, our rubber gasket. I'm gonna seat that in there. You can push the cable further in. Alright, next thing you want to do is route this backing plate nut through the cable. Y'all can see, gonna run it through and screw it on. Take our excess, roll it up, zip tie it, and stuff it down here. Once the cable has been ran, you're gonna take your plug and run it up through the cable hole. So let's remove those screws and run the cable up. Screws removed, we're just going to leave the gasket on there and route our cable. We don't need that much cable, it's just coming up and plugging into the unit once we install the unit. Next thing I'm going to do is route the power cable. Right up that same hole. Now what I got to do here is pick the right grommet for the right size. This might work. Got the grommet installed through the cables. Gonna screw this down. Gonna get my ram mount set up. Next thing I'm gonna do is install the bracket. Just gonna snug it up a little bit here. Before we get the unit plugged in and powered up, I wanted to give you a quick update since I did pick up new hardware. I picked up new screws, nuts, and washers. I picked up a tapered screw so that it can be flush with the bracket here. For the base, basically I'm using the same or similar screws, but I also picked up bigger washers to cover more surface area below it. What I also did do was apply some marine goop to the screws before actually finishing the mounting on the ram mount in order to waterproof it and keep as much water out of the kayak as possible. Here's how I secured my battery and power cable inside the kayak. Took a hose clamp to the mast, routed a piece of Velcro. What I'm going to do is put the battery on here, strap it down, and I'm going to zip tie this power cable above the battery onto the mast. This is what it looks like once everything is strapped in and zip tied. What I can easily do is unplug the battery, take it off the mast, and put it on the charger. I can also plug it in here and get it charged. Usually I'm not too comfortable with that. I just remove the battery, plug it into the charger. Once it's charged, mount it back up. The new transducer plate came in the mail, so I went ahead and installed that. As y'all can see, it no longer has a hole. Let's get the unit mounted and plugged in. Take our 2 screws. Let's get it plugged in. Plug in the transducer. Plug in the power cable. Now that everything is mounted and plugged in, let's power it up. There you have it, installed fish finder. If you want to see this fish finder in action, check out my next video. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment. If you're not subscribed to the channel, check out my other videos and consider subscribing. I'll catch y'all next time.